Hi there, my name is Win. If you're new to MTR or midterm rentals, there are three very important things that you should know. When I first got into this business, I did not know about these things, so I want to talk about them in my first video here because they lay a foundation for a lot of the decisions that you have to make in your midterm rental business. The first one is to look at MTR or midterm rental as the type of tenants that will want to rent a furnished property from you rather than focusing so much on the literal definition of the word midterm or the length of the lease. When I first started, I was thinking that MTR was about somebody wanting to rent from me for 1 month to 3 or 4 months at a time. While that is true, it's totally normal for somebody to want to rent your property for a much longer time. In fact, I have not had any inquiries or lease that is less than 6 months at a time. It has always been 6 to 7 months and a year and up. So focus your energy and your marketing materials toward the tenant type. So the people that will likely want to rent a furnished home from you are travel professionals, corporate clients, or somebody in transition, meaning they just got out of a divorce or they relocating into your areas and they want to rent for a while before they buy a home, and so on. Also, I don't want to say travel nurses because nurses are not the only people that take travel assignments. So point number one is to put your focus, your energy, marketing materials toward the type of tenant who you will be accommodating in the MTR space instead of the length of the lease. All right, let's talk about regulations. It's not a very glamorous topic to talk about, but if you're going to be in the midterm rental space, you absolutely need to know and be very familiar with the tenant-landlord regulations in your state and Fair Housing Act. The reason is when somebody stays at your property past a certain number of days, and it doesn't matter where the booking comes from, could be on Airbnb, Verbal, Zillow, Furnished Finder, it doesn't matter which platform the booking comes from, but at that time they will have tenants' rights, and by law you're the landlord, so you need to follow the tenant-landlord regulations. It's very much different from short-term rentals where your guests are truly just guests because they stay there for a night or a couple nights at a time. They're not your tenants, they don't have tenants' right, that you are not the landlord. So many of the tenant-landlord regulations really don't apply to you in that case. So you're probably wondering, at which point do I become a landlord? Is it starting from 30 days? Well, the answer is not always. Let's break this down into two components here. One is you need to find out when does a guest legally become a tenant in your state. It's not always 30 days. Some states say 14 days and they have tenants' right. Others may say 20, 25, 30 days or longer. So you need to know this number for your state. That way you know when to require everybody to sign the lease agreement, because at that point they will have tenants' rights and you're the landlord. The second component is what is the definition for short-term rental in your state and county, and is it up to 30 days, meaning 30 days or less is a short-term rental? No, it's not always 30 days. You have to look that up because some counties say up to 28 nights or 30 or 60 or even 90 days. So if you don't want to be in the short-term rental business and have to comply to the short-term rental rules in the area, you need to know this number. For example, some places say 90 days, right? So if you don't know 90 days and you put your listing to minimum 30 days and you accept the booking for 60 days, you're still running a short-term rental business in that case, right? And some counties require a permit if you want to be in the short-term rental business. They may go out and inspect your property, tell you where to hang the fire extinguisher, and they may give you a sign that says that your property is approved to run a short-term rental business, and you have to hang that sign outside the property somewhere. And then you may also have to collect local lodging taxes and report them. So it's very important that you find out what is the threshold for short-term rental in your state and county. Alright, that's it for this video. To recap, there are 3 important things that you need to know if you're going to be in the midterm rental space. One is to look at MTR, midterm rentals, as the type of tenants that you will accommodate rather than on how long somebody wants to rent from you. 2 is to find out when a guest legally becomes a tenant in your state and have a lease agreement in place. Get to know the tenant-landlord regulations and Fair Housing Act very well. The final point is to find out what is the definition of the short-term rental in your state and county so that you can avoid accidentally being in the short-term rental business without the proper license and permit if that's not what you want to do. Alright, I hope that helps somebody. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!